Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another guest and he is back for actually his second time. My husband, who is also a kindergarten through 6th grade music teacher. So today we're gonna have another chat and I'm hoping to bring him on more and more and maybe not, once every I don't know, when did we do that? December?
I have no idea.
It's been a very long time. But yeah, so we're going to have him on again and we're gonna be doing a reflection of, the worst year ever, but we're gonna try and keep it light, keep it bright. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. All right, let's get into it. All right, our first question is, what was our school situation for the 2020-2021 school year? Because I know everyone had a very different situation.
And it was different even among us,
Yeah.
being in two different districts.
Right, yeah. Probably like 30 minutes away from each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I could start. My district, as Jesse said, I teach kindergarten through 6th grade general music, just like Jesse. And we were virtual at the beginning of the year, all virtual. We went in person for about a month or so in September to Thanksgiving, went virtual again until about late February. And then when we did go back to in-person the entire time, we were teaching simultaneously the in-person students and the students who chose to stay online for the school year. So that was, I know, a big difference between both of our districts.
I did not have to do that, which, my heart goes out to anybody that was in that situation. Our school, for the most part, was in person, full in person, majority of the year. We just had late start to the school year. Usually we start at the 3rd week of July, and I think we ended up starting August, I think, or maybe a few weeks passed into August, and then we were full in person, and then we went virtual 2 weeks after our winter break just to kind of make sure everyone was good, everyone was chill, and then we came back full in person. So our whole school year has been pretty much in person.
Right, and you were not responsible for teaching the students, right?
They had an online academy that all of the kids, and they actually did have one music teacher of the entire district that was in charge of teaching music to those kids. So she probably had so many students, and I think she did all recorded lessons, so she did a fantastic, I heard amazing things. She did a really good job, but that was probably a big challenge.
Oh yeah, I think that's just awesome, because I know that a lot of our students who chose our only online program, there really wasn't anything.
Interesting.
For general music, I don't believe at all.
So. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. On to question number 2. It is, what is one thing you will keep from teaching this school year?
All right, so the panini helped me with figuring out that because we had to have some distance, and it's going to be weird because later on I'm going to say it's going to be so nice not to have distance, but I use little Velcro dots or sits. Oh, yeah?
You said panini.
Yeah, that's a pop culture thing. People are calling the pandemic a panini.
Oh, I'm old. Okay.
No, but that's probably good because other people might be like, panini?
Panini.
People that are not as cool.
Oh no, once you turn 30, you lose all the social references.
Yeah. But anyways, I use little sit spots, and of course they were about 6 feet. I think it was more like 5 feet apart. And I just loved that I did not have to deal with constantly reminding students to keep their hands to themselves. I constantly had kids. It just totally eliminated that. And, they had the other layer of that we're not supposed to be even more touching each other during a pandemic, but panini. But it was just really nice to not have to worry about that classroom management piece. Everyone had their own space. When we went to do any kind of scattered formation or movement, I just told the kids to stand up, and everyone had their perfect own little bubble that they could move in. And so I think that sounds so I was like, this is a lame answer when I was talking to Kevin before this, but honestly, that has been something I'm going to keep. Maybe not totally 5 feet, but definitely some more space. I before had them just too crowded in one area.
Right, and I had moved a lot of furniture out of my room. I have a very large room.
Yeah.
But I moved a lot of furniture to be able to space kids as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I do think that was really valuable. They had their own space.
Yeah.
They weren't going to bump into each other.
Not going to bother each other as much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
What about you?
Well, I have always been someone who loves playing around with technology, but this year, and I know with all the Teachers Pay Teachers products and things that you designed, I've just fallen in love with Google Slides and all the versatility that it has. Just the ability within Google Classroom, of course, to assign Google Slide kind of worksheets with movable, manipulative style objects to be able to have kids turn in to me and have it all be digitally organized. That was just so neat, and I think it allowed my kids to have some, moments of creativity when we were online, and it just made it so easy for me to see it all in real time, and I thought that was really valuable. So I certainly will be keeping Google Slides, not only for organizing my students' work, but also organizing my own teaching.
We're big Google fans.
Google
here.
Slides
Google
is just it's just awesome. So definitely going to keep using it.
Yeah, and Kevin, I think is 1-to-1. So I think that is going to be a big difference for us. Like, of course, I would love that, but like I have we do have computers, but you have to reserve the cart and get them in and get them all logged in. Whereas 1-to-1, I would totally be in the same boat if we were 1-to-1 for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a norm that's starting to really take hold. It is really neat to be able to rely on, most all of our students having a device.
Yeah.
Is pretty cool. Very useful.
Definitely. Sure. Number 3 is, what are you looking forward to leaving in the past? What are you not going to bring into next school year?
Leaving it in the dust.
Yeah.
I think with my teaching this year, being that I was teaching my in-person and my online students, I took it very seriously in how I was trying to make it just as seamless of a transition as possible for my online students. And one of the things that I just had to do was be in one spot a lot more often, or most all of the time, so that they could see me. And I felt that was really necessary, so that they still felt connected to the class and to me as the educator. And one thing that I'm really excited to be able to do is not have to be in one spot next school year. Just the power of being able to walk around the class and really engage kids in different areas. Personally, being an educator with ADHD, it was so hard for me to just sit in one spot or stand or just be in one little bubble.
Yeah.
So I am just over the moon to be able to fly free around my room. And my kids do it too.
And I really enjoy teaching from the back of the classroom. Like, I really enjoyed that actually a lot. I will take my little keyboard and I will just be, being able to go through and just be in the back of the classroom. There's just something different about it. I mean, of course, you got to get back. And sometimes I get in trouble because then I'm back and forth because they have to see me to do something or model something. But I can see that. You would feel chained. Yeah,
I would say check with your media center people, your library folks. See if they have any wireless keyboards and things.
Honestly, it's a big game changer.
We just have a lot of them laying around that aren't being used.
Yeah.
And it's magic when you can not be tied to a computer, but still use your computer.
Right, yeah. So for me, what I would like to keep in the past is not as much totally cut it out, but I really loved the play along videos. We found so many, and that has been a big positive of this push is, those move along videos, body percussion videos,
beat competency.
Beat competent, so many, again, very cool. It is a blessing. But I think that I leaned into that really hard this year because it was hard. There was half of what we normally would do, we couldn't do anymore. But I do think I am going to definitely shift next year where I'm going more into project-based learning and group work and, the things that don't always have to be like we're watching a screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of them were really neat because we didn't have to sing necessarily.
Right.
If we have limitations on that.
Right.
You know, we could use body percussion. We didn't have to share instruments, which we couldn't do forever. So it was useful for that time.
Right.
I think it limits the kids being able to connect to it because they're not really part of the creating process. They're just kind of reading what they see, which is valuable.
Right.
But I think it can be more engaging when they maybe create what's in that piece of it.
Just feel more connected.
Yeah, if it's form-based, like they make the pattern for the A section or whatever.
Or more ownership of what they're doing musically. Then, yeah.
Question number 4 in our reflection of this school year is, what are you proud of?
Yeah, so I am proud of, the last year or two, I've been really focusing on my 5th and 6th graders, and I feel like I'm a broken record. I won't shut up about it, but like I feel like that has been the area that I need the most improvement in. I just was not reaching my kids. Our class culture was off, and so I've been really focusing in. It was interesting. The pandemic forced me into doing more like theory things, and and I would avoid worksheets like the plague. Like, they don't want to come in here and do worksheets or do something more low energy. And I really realized through it that like upper elementary, like they need some of those activities where they don't feel like on the spot. They're always in front of the class, because there's so much. There's so many social interactions and things that hinder that, and feel embarrassed and self-esteem. And so it really helped me realize that we do need some kind of lower energy, and sometimes they are pretty chill with, a worksheet activity. So I just really focused in on upper elementary. I also was working on bringing more like pop culture things into it. I did like a TikTok Angry Birds project that was so much fun, and I can't wait to actually do it in person next year, so that I can actually like see what was happening.
Super fun.
Yeah, and then I did a lot more diving into not per se very current music, but more current. Like, I went into rock and jazz and hip hop this year and did some units on those. And I've always been battling myself about, what artists do I talk about? Because some artists, don't live a very school-appropriate lifestyle, or they might have one school-appropriate song, but that's it. And then they go back home and they look them up. So I've always that's always been a barrier for me to like talk about more current music, because I was afraid of that. And I kind of just was like, I'm just gonna like take this year to just try it out. And if I have some people that complain or upset, like then I'll just kind of go from there and just see. And I kind of risked it a little bit. And I was totally fine. And my upper elementary kids are so much more connected, because we did talk about some different types of music and actual real life musicians. Not that other people are not real life. I guess I shouldn't say that.
In the context of how those genres were created.
Yeah.
The people and the stories around them.
Yeah.
Being in a genre that they're familiar with.
Yes.
But maybe don't know the details of it.
Right.
I remember just being really impressed with the level of engagement, because I utilized those lessons as well.
We share back and forth. Yeah.
But just the energy that my upper elementary kids had, and the engagement level was really neat.
It's by no means like it was perfect, but I saw a lot more engagement from my upper elementary kids this year. So,
for sure.
Yeah. What about you?
I am proud of, I really took very seriously as I already kind of talked about, like just making the experience for my online students as
meaningful,
like just similar of an experience to my in-person students, and just really being persistent about utilizing technology, utilizing microphones. There are really affordable microphones nowadays, like this Snowball mic that we're using for this. That just, I think, allowed the online students to feel like they were at least kind of there, I hope. And just really trying to adapt everything so that they could participate in a meaningful way. And I know that with that came a lot of growth, but also just exploration, having kids find random things to use. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I think that I would hope I can't exactly survey my students who are online.
You didn't usually get a general feel for how you did. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would hope that they felt like they got value out of my class.
Yeah, I remember Kevin, like when the announcement happened, and Kevin was very like meticulous about it, was thinking about it a lot, and I even said, I like gave him the cop out, I'm like, it's so much, like, just do the best that you can, it's okay, but Kevin was like, not good enough.
Yeah.
He did so many tests and microphone stuff, and so I think that's really cool how he stepped up for his students.
I think with our classroom being such an environment where we listen to music, of course. I just really wanted the kids that were online to not, suffer for making that choice.
Right. Because they shouldn't have to.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
And it was really challenging. But, we all persevered.
We got through it.
Yeah. And in the end, we have a lot more skills.
True. Yes, very true. Our fifth question is, what is one thing that you would like to focus or improve on for next year?
I think for next year, I have over the past few years acquired quite a few ukuleles, almost one for each student that I would have in a class, and I would really like to prioritize incorporating that heavily into my 5th and 6th grade curriculums. I remember, programs having those kids teach a song to like kindergarten, and I just think that'd be something I'd really love to have as a culminating experience.
That'd be so adorable.
Yeah, super adorable. Have them sing a song with them or something.
Right, yes.
And have that be an activity that hopefully we could do next year, particularly at the end of next school year.
Yeah.
And also, when we were online, I was able to utilize this, but BandLab, which is similar to GarageBand or Audacity or Soundtrap, but an online digital audio workstation, and I'd love to really dive deep into that more and have kids compose more. I found that just my kids loved it. I even got some notes from parents about how they loved how their older kids were showing their younger siblings how to how to compose on that. So I'd love to dive into my ukuleles more and bandlab.com for sure.
Yeah. For me, I would say that I would like to improve kind of like my classroom culture or classroom management, whatever you want to call it, rules and procedures. I just feel like that kind of went on the back burner a little bit this year. I was just focusing more on content and just getting something out that the kids will mildly enjoy, even though we can't do other things, trying to make the best of the situation.
It was hard when you couldn't do group things.
Yeah.
Hard to build relationships. Yeah, it was challenging.
And I do feel like I know my students as my going to be my 7th year or 6th year at my current school, so I do feel like I really know my kids pretty well. Of course, there's always room for growth, but I feel like I have really good relationships with them. But sometimes because of that, the procedures and things I don't go back and really make sure I'm constantly going over procedures and things like that. So I've been reading some books this summer, and I really just want to go back purposeful, like here are my routines and here are my different ways that I'm going to respond to students. So I just want to go back and make my classroom management it's like a fresh start, and it's going to be even better than before.
Yeah. And I recall you having that routine with kindergarten. That was beautiful.
I have started a little bit with kindergarten, that I do have a routine. We come in where we kind of go over what we're going to do, and then we open with a song every single time. And that was really nice. And we would do it for 3 lessons. I would also, because I love change, and so sometimes repetition is really hard for me with the younger grades, because I just want to keep moving on. But it was nice. We came in, we always sang the same song for 3 lessons, and then we moved on to a new one. And I think they really enjoyed that.
For our 6th question, we have, what are you going to do this summer, professionally and for fun? Professionally, I'd really love to dive into incorporating jazz music and in a lot of different ways throughout my curriculum in multiple ways. And so I would love to really just do a lot of research and kind of creative work, learning from other people that have created resources that incorporate jazz, and just have it really be something that is, you know, throughout my students' experience at my school. Because I just feel like it's an underrepresented genre in our curriculums for sure. And perhaps some of that is copyright related, but it's not really a great excuse.
Right.
And I know one thing that I'm going to do is join the American Orff Association, because they have such a wonderful and vast library of resources that you can gain access to when you become a member, non-sponsored.
Sponsors AOS.
AOS.
Okay. Well, I did a great pitch there. Okay, keep going.
But for fun, I forgot what I was going to say for that.
For fun, you were going to say, your mattress. Kevin, mattress.
For fun, I am stoked for the day that our new mattress comes.
Yes.
It may come someday.
It's been almost a month.
It's been almost a month.
Yeah.
As someone who is certified old now that I didn't get the Panini reference, this new mattress is just going to be it's going to be awesome.
Great.
So.
Kevin's been wanting this new mattress for like 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah.
And every morning he just wakes up and he's like, ow. So we finally did it, and it's back ordered. It's like in transit, and we don't know when it's going to come. So it's just been killing Kevin.
Yes.
But as soon as we get it, he's just going to have the greatest time sleeping, hopefully still during summer. We'll see. For me, professionally, I have been reading some books, as I kind of mentioned before. I'm reading Responsive Classroom Teaching for special area teachers, and then I'm also reading Culturally Responsive Teaching in Music Education. I will link those books down below for you guys if you want to check them out. So far, they've been so good. Like even this morning, as I was reading that Culturally Responsive Music in Music Education, I would just like, I don't even know if Kevin was doing something. He was focusing, and I kept being like, read this. Like, I just wanted to tell him everything, because there's so many things in there that I experience, and I can't wait till I get to the application part of like hearing how to respond to that. Because there's a lot of situations I just don't really know what to do, how to respond with that. So I'm really excited to dive more into those books. And then for fun, we're going to Zion National Park in Utah in about a week, and so I'm really excited to get out, and it's going to be like our first kind of real vacation since the pandemic, and so it'll be really fun to get out there. I've heard it's really crowded, so and it's really hot with our heat wave. But I still think it'll just be nice regardless, just to get out of the state and experience somewhere new, because we both have not been over in Utah at all. Have you?
No, never been. Saw the commercials back in the day about the Utah National Parks, and have wanted to go. So really, really excited to experience the nature there for sure.
Definitely.
Amongst all the people.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to wrap up the video there, because I think we've been talking for about 28 minutes. We'll see how, once we cut this up, how long it actually is. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
See ya.